Welcome to Help, I Have Kids. I'm your host, Pam Marshall, a mom of 5 and a pediatric occupational therapist with over 35 years experience. This podcast is designed to equip you with practical tools, insights from experts, and real life stories. Because at the end of the day, you are the head of your child's care team. Each week, you'll hear from pediatric experts and fellow moms like you that will help build your confidence. They'll offer clarity and empower you to make informed decisions that work for your whole family. Hi, welcome to Help, I Have Kids podcast. I'm your host, Pam Marshall, occupational therapist, and today we are talking about a heavy subject. It's really important, but so heavy. And that's teen mental health. And so today you may remember our guest, Heather. She was with us in an earlier podcast, but she's here today to talk to us about how to emotionally support your child and how to recognize. Today's episode is how to recognize the red flags, like the mental health red flags in teens. So Heather, so glad you're here. I know this is a heavy topic, but we'll start off a little lighter maybe before we dive in. Tell us something about your family and what you do for your profession.
Okay. So I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist. I've been practicing for almost 22 years. Next week is 22 years.
Amazing.
Do not feel that old, but I am. And I am married to Jason. We've been married for 23 years.
Wow.
And we have a 17-year-old daughter. So I am in the thick of teenage life.
There you go.
Right now.
Yes, you are.
But I've always worked in pediatrics my entire career. When I started, I loved the little kids. Teenagers were honestly scary to me. I think because people talk like they're scary. And so as a baby therapist, it was, I don't want to deal with teenagers. Now I wish people would give me their teenagers. I love them. I love them. And I love little kids still too. But it's in terms of where I'm at in my career, I just really feel our teens need someone. They need someone to see them, someone to hear them, someone to be there for them. And for me, it's a blessing to get to do that. So my current caseload is all teenagers and young adults at this point.
Yeah, I agree. After raising 5 kids, each one needed someone to talk to. It's really important. I feel like there aren't enough mental health therapists to talk to all the teenagers in the world, but they definitely need someone. So today we're breaking this up into 3 different talks. So there'll be three episodes. You'll want to hear all 3 of them. But today's episode, we're going to start about teenage mental health issues. And there's a lot out there. I mean, kids are growing up very differently than you and I grew up. And mental health issues are real. And so as a mental health professional, like, what are the signs or what's something that you can explain to moms, like what to look for?
I think a big thing, and I think it starts honestly when they are younger. You need to know your child. You need to invest in your child when they're younger. And I know a lot of times we think, I have time. And I've thought that myself. I have time to work on, how a 2-year-old misbehaves. I'll deal with that later. But we really need to start young. And building that connection, building that communication, because I feel like it will serve us well when they become teenagers. Because if you have that connection and you're already communicating, you will notice more changes in them.
Yeah.
You're not going to get it perfectly because they can hide it if they want to. But I think knowing your child and going, okay, we're in our room more often. We're not as sociable. We're not hanging out with the family. Our appetite's changed. Our sleep patterns are changed. Sometimes you can just look at their face and in their eyes. The eyes tell so much.
They do.
And you can see a shift in their eyes and you're like, there's something going on. And I even see that, especially with the kids in my office. Sometimes I'll just look at them and I'm like, your eyes tell me a different story than what you're telling me. And I'm just honest with them. And it opens a line of communication.
You can see it on their whole body.
They wear it.
Yeah.
But sometimes they can hide it pretty good. So I think that's where knowing them, really investing when they're young
Yeah.
Not that it's too late. Once they get older, you can always grow and learn in that area.
Yeah.
But if we start younger, I think it works better.
And moms listening, if you've had a great relationship with your child and they're heading into the teenage years and all of a sudden they're pulling away and maybe it caught you off guard that they're struggling. And now all of a sudden you're recognizing they're anxious, depressed, something's going on. It's not a reflection of you. Like, you haven't failed. That's where we go to first as moms. Like, what did I do wrong?
Right.
Why is my child not okay? It's not, you haven't failed.
No.
And we can't possibly know all the things, the way kids process information and what's going on in their world. They're becoming their own person and they're having to learn how to process all this information and how to process stress and deadlines and producing, at school and at work or whatever they're doing, sports. So I think we have to take a step back and if it catches us off guard, just breathe and know that this isn't your fault. Like, it's not your fault. So this is really a tough subject because there are a lot of teens. I feel like the percentage of teens that are really struggling, I don't know, somehow as parents we think, oh, our kids are going to make it through just fine and not struggle. But the amount of teens that need help and support is pretty big. So from a professional standpoint and your experience as a mom, like, why is this so confusing for parents, or why is it such a hard thing to face? And because some parents struggle, they don't take that step to get their kid help until there's really a red flag being waved. So,
I think we get busy in life, especially as our kids get older. They're in more activities. We're in our careers. We're doing things. But I also think we've almost made it out like teenagers are scary people. And we talk about them that way. Movies make them these like jerky people, and they're really not.
They're so fun.
And so it's like we have society telling us, oh, the teenage years are the worst. And we've almost built up this fear around them. And I think I did that as a baby therapist of, oh, those teenagers, that's going to be hard. And the reality is they're awesome. But I think it kind of gets handed down. Oh, well, remember when you were a teenager? So our parents teach us these patterns. Our society teaches us this. And I think it makes us think we should look at it poorly. But I go back to my mom, who, if anyone remembers from the previous podcast, her biggest advice to me was be intentional. Love every phase your child is in. Don't regret that one ended, and always look forward to the next. And so I think with my daughter, it was something that helped me, was just going, you know what? I was a teenager and I know I had struggles. It was definitely not easy, but my mom and I remained close throughout it. And so that became my goal. I wanted to repeat a positive pattern that I saw. And so then within myself, I challenged that notion that it was going to be a scary, horrible time. Still not easy.
Right.
We still have issues at 17, but we're good. Like, we're navigating it. And I'm impressed with how maturely she does handle some of the stuff. You know, so I think we need to quit viewing it as so scary.
Yeah, so scary.
Because we do survive.
And there's such challenges in the transition, I think, from childhood into adolescence. And now it feels younger all the time.
Right. Yes.
But when you think about a sixth grader, a seventh grader, things can really catch you off guard as a parent, because you view them like they're still a child. Like, you're in your brain, you haven't transitioned, especially if it's your first one going through that transition. But I don't know, I felt that way maybe with each one, because you're having to make this shift in your own parent brain of, oh, now they're not quite ready to be their own independent person, but they're trying. And a good description is, you're moving more to a coach than the drill sergeant, so to speak. You know, you're moving in a more coaching role. And I don't know that I was very good at that as a mom. I don't know that I was very good at asking the right questions or transitioning into more of that coach role. So tell us some things like, what are the shifts that happen, you know, from childhood to teens? Like what might be some helpful tips or things moms and dads can do?
Okay. I think there's so many shifts they go through. They go from being these loving, little, huggable, playful, you know, their imagination is beautiful and it's bright and they want to snuggle and cuddle and all the things and life is good. It's amazing what happens between 5th and 6th grade.
Yeah.
You know,
amazing.
Truly, there's something that happens when they go into middle school. They're trying to figure out their identity. They're trying to figure out friend group shift. You know, and physically their body is doing all this stuff that they think is weird. We know it's weird because we've done it, you know, and there's hormones and their social groups change and so much. Everything becomes more serious too. Oh, you're in middle school.
There's lots of insecurity, like so much insecurity in the middle of all that.
Yes. And so you go from this sweet, loving kiddo to someone who's a little moody and who might be a little distant. And it's not always bad. I think sometimes they're just trying to figure life out. And the expectation is, well, I'm a teenager now. I should know.
Right.
They shouldn't know. They don't have to know. But there's all this pressure to know. And they want to. But they don't. And so I think it weighs on them. And that's where I think a lot of that moody, quiet, alone to myself can come from, is just, I'm trying to navigate these changes and it's weird for them and it's hard and they don't know how to talk about it. And so they just get quiet.
Yeah. And how do you know, like, I always felt this way. I felt like my heart as a mom wanted to prevent my kids from making really crappy choices, like choices that would get them in trouble and lead down a dark road. And you're navigating that and how to just let them be or let them process through those moody moments or those angsty things they have to go through. So, like, how do you know what the right thing is to do as a parent?
Right. I don't think we always know. I mean, it's hard. It is hard, you know, and there are times I'm a mental health therapist. So I sit there and go, I should have handled that better. What would you have told a parent in your office, Heather? Like, you totally blew it.
Yeah.
You know, and then I go, okay, my kid's pretty forgiving. So we just talk about it, you know, and
I'm sorry is a really good thing to remember. Yeah.
It's one of the things that if I could get parents to understand the huge impact of just saying, I'm sorry. It doesn't mean that you're a horrible person. It doesn't mean that you're weak. It doesn't mean that your kid got one up on you. You know, it's not a power play. It's truly just, I made a mistake.
Yeah. I didn't react very well.
Yes.
I didn't respond great.
And
I didn't want to say that.
Yes. Like I've watched it in my home where, you know, there've been some experiences. First driving. Right? For the first time with driving.
That's so much fun.
There was a mistake made. We won't get into it because if she ever hears this, she would hate me saying it. But she made a mistake. I lost my cool. I did. And there was yelling. Then I go into silent mode.
Gnashing of the teeth.
Yes. I mean, it was awful. And with every stoplight on the way home, I was like, you need to apologize. I'm not ready to apologize yet. Heather, you need to apologize. And I was like, okay, at the next stoplight, I'm going to apologize. At the next stoplight, I'm literally having an internal moment because I'm still upset with what happened, but I know I've just crushed my child with my reaction and I can't leave it. And so literally get one stoplight away from the house. And I'm like, Lily and Grace, which then she's like, oh gosh, I'm in trouble. And I'm like, no, I already did my bad moment. I am so sorry. Like, I overreacted. I need you to understand why, like, where I came from. But kiddo, I messed up.
Yeah.
Like you messed up in your reaction, but like your action, your choice, mom really messed up.
Yeah.
And you could just kind of see her she went from fuming, like she was literally fuming in the passenger seat because I made her get out of the car and get in the passenger seat, fuming to the tears and the release.
Yeah.
And we were cool. Like we both had to take a moment.
Yeah.
But I apologized. And then she goes, I'm sorry, I made a mistake too. You know, we can't expect them to apologize if we can't do it ourselves. You know, and I'm sorry carries huge weight. And I've worked with kids in my office that sometimes their parents say stuff out of a reaction.
Right.
Certain words you can call your kid. I'm not for name calling, but I've had parents call their children things we shouldn't say to our kids. And there are certain words you can't ever take back.
That's right.
And I remember sitting with a mom and I was just like, I think you need to apologize. And she was like, I will not apologize. And this was private. I would not scold a parent in front of a child. But I was like, you crushed her.
Yeah.
And she couldn't do it. She just couldn't do it. And then, you know, she leaves the room. I pull the kid in. And the child was just like, if she would have just said she was sorry.
Yeah.
I don't think we always realize it's okay. Like, it's okay to lose it. Our kids can understand that if we can say we're sorry too.
The permission to say you're sorry. It's huge.
You know, and so it really but big. Then we also have to forgive ourselves when we mess up. I've had to forgive myself many a time for just not being on my A game.
I'm with you on that one.
Because I'll beat myself up.
Yes.
And I think as parents, we do that. I mean, you mentioned it earlier. We do it so much. So then we have to tell ourselves we're sorry.
Right.
You know, and allow ourselves to feel the forgiveness too.
It's really hard to let yourself off the hook when you have a reflection time and realize how wrong it was, the way you reacted or it's humbling. I used to tell my kids, you're going to have to go to therapy when you get older because I'm just not perfect. I'm doing my best here, but not perfect. And
none of us are.
None of us are, but we have to approach it that way because we do react. And sometimes it's fear. We're reacting out of fear.
Right.
Sometimes we're just mortified.
Right.
Or, you know.
We're just taken off guard.
We are. It's a surprise. Yeah. It really is.
And I think our kids are growing. We're growing too. You know, I'm a one and done parent. I get one shot at everything she goes through.
Right.
I don't have another child to experience it with. So I feel like in a way there's kind of this extra pressure.
I
have to get it right the first time because I only have one time.
Right.
You know, but it's okay. Like she's pretty forgiving. And most kids are pretty forgiving.
Yeah.
If we just open that door for communication. And that goes back to that communication and connection.
Yeah.
It's a big
communication and connection. It's so good. So let's talk about the warning signs that parents need to pay attention to because there's also trends and things that are popular now that weren't several years ago or something new that comes up that we've never even heard of, you know. I remember the first time I heard about marijuana in brownies, like, oh, I should know what brownies my kids are eating. Like, what's in them? Where are they getting those brownies from? So what are the warning signs? What can you?
Just really any change. There's no one size fits all. Every teenage is different. So every warning sign is different based on your teen. And I'm going to say it a lot throughout this podcast. It's that communication and connection. You know your child. Yeah. And when you know your child, you can see, oh gosh, okay, so their sleep is a little off. Their hygiene is off. You know, if you see a change in their hygiene, they're sleeping too much or too little. And I mean, I know teenagers sleep, but like when they're sleeping 12 hours or they're up all night, either we're really
or they
off
have
kilter or something's
erratic
going on.
schedules, very erratic.
You know, if they are more irrational, teenagers are a little moody anyway. Like some of this is just normal, but if it lasts for an extended period of time, we have something to pause and be concerned about. If their activity, they go from being super social and now all of a sudden they don't want to be with anyone. Ooh, there might be a problem. If they're in their rooms by themselves. We have a rule at our house, and we've had it since she was little, so it doesn't faze her. You don't close a door. You close the door if you use the restroom and you change your clothes.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if your friends are over, your door's open. If you're on the phone, your door's open. If you're on a device, which we don't have devices in rooms, like she has a phone in her room. That's the only device in her room. There's no TV. There's no anything else. And that was just, we didn't see a need, and she doesn't care, which is beautiful because she knew from a child it wasn't going to happen.
Right.
And so we have that rule. And so when her friends come over, the doors are open. And the best part is she'll go, come on in and hang out, which is really weird to me because you don't hear that, but it's awesome. And I think some of that's still that connection. But if all of a sudden she would start closing the door, I have a problem at my house. Yeah. If she's not, she's very routined on her sleep. If she's not, oh goodness, I need to watch that. If she's more to herself.
So parents listening, if your child's sleep patterns change, their hygiene changes, appetite, overall countenance, how their eyes look, their body language, if they're still doing the things they love, that's a tell sign too.
Yes.
I've seen that before where if they start, pulling away from the things that they love to do and they're no longer doing them, that's a big red flag right there.
Or a best friend is no longer a best friend.
Right.
That's a big deal.
Right. Big falling outs with friendships, that's a red flag sign. Those are good ones. Also, new friends sometimes in their life, like if they have a new friend group or a new friend or two that seems to be really bringing them down, like their behavior is going low and down, that's something to be very concerned about.
Or even a change in grades. It could be, if it's one class, it might just be a hard class. But if you go from a straight A student to everything are D's and F's, what's happening?
Right. What's going on, for sure. So that's really good. And how do parents approach their teen? And there's also like a balance. It's also how to approach them. But do you snoop? Do you go straight to them and ask questions if they're denying everything? What do you do? Is it okay to try to find out what's going on if they're not willing to share it? What do you recommend?
I think honestly, it's what you feel comfortable and establish when they're younger. My daughter knew a journal was a journal and I could look at it. When she got her phone, I said, I will know the password. And if I have reason to think I need to look in your phone, I will look in your phone. And we've always established that. So she knew that. Doesn't mean she likes it.
We had the same rule with the phone is, until you're paying for your own phone, that phone is actually ours. You get to use it, and anything you write or anything on it at any time, we could see it.
But I think there's a difference of, I'm going to look at this just to be nosy.
Right.
That, to me, that's not respectful of their space.
Right.
Mine is more if I have reason to be concerned. When we have had moments where,
or if trust is broken, trust is broken.
When I've seen that there was a difference within her, then I will look. But I'm also just pretty transparent. I think it comes from being a mental health therapist, where I'm like, I am going to look at your phone right now, and I don't like to hide things from her. I don't want to be sneaky. So I think every parent's going to have their own opinion. And I know it's a hot button of, do you get in your child's business or not? I think you have to do what you feel is best for you. But by golly, I will tell you, if you have a big concern, you need to investigate. And it could just be asking your kid's friends, hey, my kid seems like a little different today. Is everything going okay? And just doing a check-in. If they may actually tell you. I mean, surprisingly, they may actually tell you, there's something going on, but you need to talk to them. Or, so I think knowing your kid, but also knowing what your boundaries are, but you have to have boundaries.
Yes. So many boundaries.
Yes. Yeah.
And, what it looks like in middle school may be different than it looks in high school. Because our goal is we want them soaring by the time they're a junior, senior in high school. We trust them. They're making great choices, all of that. I mean, hopefully sooner than that. But, we that's your end goal. That's what you're hoping for, that they get there. So when is it time to be really urgently concerned? Like almost like this is a red flag. It's waving. It's time to get help.
I think go with your gut. Because if you know your child, which most parents have a pulse on their kid, you know when something feels off. But I think also if it lasts for a long period of time, if it's more than a couple days, you should start questioning. I personally, I'm just a different mom in general. I check in every day. Every day there's a check-in of just, how's it going? And it's not a mental health check-in. It's not, so if you experience this, and this, it's truly just, hey, so how's your world today? How are things going today? It's become so normal to have a check-in that sometimes I don't have to ask. And I think we need to normalize just talking to your kid and just saying, how are things today? Anything I can help you with?
So if a parent listening has been doing that, or maybe they start doing that, but their child just isn't responding or not willing to talk or share anything, they're just getting more closed off behind, closed doors, all of that. Then what? Then what do you do?
Keep trying, but also enlist other people. If there is a teacher at school that this child loves, hey, would you mind checking in on my child? I've noticed some things, or someone from church, or even a friend, a family friend or an older sibling can be great confidants for your child when they don't want to open up to you. And I know it's hard to think about your child not opening up to you. It doesn't mean you did anything wrong. It doesn't mean they hate you. Sometimes they truly just don't want to bother you or stress you out. I've heard that before in my own house. Mom, you have so much going on in your world. I didn't want to add to your stress.
Yeah.
Which then opens up for another conversation. Hey, kiddo, you are mine.
Yeah.
Everything else can wait. Please come to me.
Yeah.
But I have had people check in before, and I've even encouraged parents in my office, who else is in your child's world that can check in on your kid?
When is it time to bring up therapy, seeing a therapist? Like what are the signs that maybe it's time to enlist a professional?
When it lasts for too long. And I think every parent knows what too long feels like. When it feels too big, when it feels like you have been checking in and nothing's changing, it's probably time to get someone else to help.
Yeah.
And I also think it's okay to ask your child, hey, we're not talking.
Yeah.
Do you want me to find someone for you to talk to? Some kids really actually want to do therapy, but are afraid to ask because they don't want their parent to think there's something big and bad and wrong, but they might just want to process stuff without stressing out a parent.
Yeah. That's good to remember.
It's not always bad.
I like what you said about thinking about the people who are in your child's life. If you can get help from that teacher, that maybe youth worker, a neighbor, a grandparent, somebody that's in their life that they may trust. Because there are times when it doesn't need to be us. It doesn't need to be the parent. It needs to be someone else. Yeah. And I know I, as a mom, have done that before, given someone a heads up, like, hey, can you go check with, one of my kids and see how they're doing. So they have a friend, someone they can talk to. Right. Yeah, that's good. So what does early intervention really mean? Like, when does that start? You were saying it's really the parent relationship, you building that relationship. well, what if someone really just messed up and just didn't have that, and now their child's in middle school struggling, or they feel like somewhere along the line that just got broken. What does the parent do?
Just start over. Just start right then with trying to build and connect. It's obviously different than a little child, how you would connect. But, hey, I'm watching this TV show. Find a series that you and your kid like to watch together. I have watched many things that I didn't want to watch.
Yeah.
Because it was
just to connect.
Just to be there, And so I think it's never too late to try to do better.
Yeah.
And to try to connect. And so find something in common. Find a way to connect, even if it's your child likes Taco Bell. Not my choice. But let's say they do. Hey, let's go get Taco Bell. Like anything to kind of get away from the house, have a moment, go do something that they enjoy, go into their world.
Yeah.
And they might invite you in a little bit more. And a little bit more. And it just, anything you can do to connect is important.
Yeah, that's really, really good advice. Just enter their world, even if it's something you don't like or you don't want to do. I can remember that, sitting watching a show or something that I was like, never, ever did I think I would watch this. And here I am.
Well, even like music. I'm sure you understand that. Even with having musical children.
Yes.
Some of the songs I have listened to that now are on a playlist that I love that I would have not liked.
Yeah.
But it's something
I've listened to a lot of music I don't like.
Yeah.
And sometimes I had my limit on the screaming music was really popular. That emo music was so popular when my boys were younger. And I would get in the car and they would put that on and I would just go, and after a while I'd say, guys, I feel like they're yelling at me. Can we turn that off? Can you find something different? Can we have a compromise? Right now I'm waving a red flag. I can't.
And I think music can really speak their words. They may actually give you insight into their soul through a song they play for you.
Yeah.
And I'll have kids come into my therapy room and they're like, okay, Miss Heather, here's a playlist I need you to listen to over the next week.
Yeah.
And I sure do. And then we have not phone conversations, but we'll have a session the next time about, okay, why did you pick these? Like, why did I need to listen to those? Like, are you trying to tell me something? It can really open doors.
The conversation. Yeah. I love it when I see like a teen and a parent sharing AirPods, well, now they don't have wires, but years ago they had wires and they were connected, but not having wires and listening, I really think that's cool. Yeah. So maybe you need to just say, want to share an AirPod? Let me hear what you're... and listen, that's good. So let's talk about supportive conversations because, teens are going to have a hard time. Not everything goes smoothly. No. There's lots of rough patches as they're growing and learning how to manage emotions and relationships and all those things. So what does it sound like to have a supportive conversation? And I'm asking that you explain this because there are people, like I was pretty dense in this area. I had to try to learn how to have a supportive conversation. There are parents that need the language, need a script, need something. What does it sound like?
I will say first and foremost, it's listening more than you talk. Because I cannot tell you how many teenagers tell me, I just want to be seen and heard. I don't feel like they see me. And for them, seeing is not with our eyes. It's with our hearts. It's with our heads. They want us to see into the depths so they don't have to say it. And I find if we can, the phrase from Hamilton, talk less, smile more, kind of helps with teenagers. Talk less to them, like listen more.
I wish I had you when my kids were a teenager because I think I needed to talk a lot less.
Well, I think we want to talk, right? Like we want to explain it, but sometimes for them, they just shut us out. And my mom even said that. She's like, the moment we started lecturing you, something in your eyes flipped and you would politely look at us, but you could have cared less what we were saying.
Checked out.
I was done. And so I do think just listening, but listening to hear, not listening to give a rebuttal, but listening to hear them, to truly hear. And then just non-accusatory language, empathy, I'm so sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry you're hurting. I'm here for
Acknowledging their feelings, not trying to fix.
We don't need to fix it.
Those were my big failures. I feel like not listening enough and then trying to fix it rather than really reinforce that you heard them or acknowledge their feelings.
Yeah. I tell the kids in my office, I'm like, I'll walk through fire with you.
Mm-hmm.
And I truly mean it, because sometimes what they're going through feels like fire.
Yeah.
It feels like the worst thing, and they're just trying to survive.
And sometimes they act like they're on fire.
Mm-hmm. They really do.
They act like they're on fire.
Anything positive that just says you're not alone, I'm here for you, that then can open the door. Not necessarily, but it can open the door for, hey, Mom, what do you think I should do?
Yeah.
You've turned a corner when they actually ask.
Right.
What should I do?
Right.
And then it's even more beautiful when they come home. We had this happen recently of, hey, Mom, here's what I did. And I was like, I didn't know that it was a full problem. But then the mature answer that she gave of how she handled a friend situation, I was just like, wow, that's awesome. And so it's neat when you do get to watch that happen.
That connection. So just to wrap it up, as parents are navigating with their teens, what are some questions maybe they can, or not questions, but what are some things they can remember? So if they remember one thing from this episode, what would that be?
Originally, my thought was that communication and connection, because I do. I always take that to my grave. That is big. But I also think don't be afraid of your teenager.
Yeah, that's good.
Because in there is still that little kid who loved you and snuggled and all that, and they may still want to.
Yeah.
So they're still there. Don't be afraid of them.
And remembering that everybody wants to be seen and heard.
Yes.
I heard that from you too. Like
That's
they
big.
just want to be seen and heard. So pay attention. Stop what you're doing. Pay attention to them and be intentional. That's good. Really good. So noticing changes in your teen or asking questions, asking others to help you when you need it. You don't need to wait till things feel really, really urgent. That you don't have to do it alone, and you can do it. You moms and dads listening, you can do it. Thanks, Heather.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for listening to Help, I Have Kids. If you're tuning into this podcast, that means you're a mom who's curious, committed, and ready to learn. And we see you. We'd love for you to join our Help, I Have Kids Facebook community, where moms just like you are connecting, asking questions, and encouraging each other every day. It's a space for real conversations, expert insight, and support from moms who get it, because we're all in this together. And if you know a mom who's feeling unsure or maybe overwhelmed, or just needs to be reminded that she can do it, she can advocate for her child with confidence, share this episode with her. We're building a village here, and we're glad you're a part of it.